be seated. Please be seated if you're not already. Well, welcome graduates, family, friends, and guests to the College of the Coast Environment's 47th commencement ceremony. I'm Dean Chris Delia, a professor in the college. Getting an LSU degree is a special achievement that students, their families, and friends enjoy and deserve to celebrate together. It's great to be doing this in person again after almost 2 years of COVID-19 isolation. A little secret I want to share with you is the faculty and staff alike enjoy celebrating it too. Student success is also our success. We feel a sense of accomplishment no matter whether a graduate is finishing summa cum laude or has been just an average student. The students still had to work very hard to get one of our challenging degrees. Whether we're a student advisor, a classroom instructor, an administrator, or a renowned professor, we all played roles in our students' success. In my long career, I've attended at least 50 of these ceremonies, and I always relish them. And ours, I must say, are very special. Most of you probably refer to this ceremony as graduation. That's okay. The word graduate is derived from the Latin word gradus, which means step. When students are graduated by LSU, they are stepping up to a new level of educational achievement. Most of us on the faculty are more inclined to refer to this ceremony as commencement, because our graduates are beginning a new phase of their lives in which their educations will serve them in good stead in many different ways. This is not the end, but rather the beginning. So what will you graduates do next? Some of you have plans to enter the workforce immediately, or actually are in the workforce. Others will continue your education with advanced degrees or postdocs. Others will take some time off to see the world. And a minority of you have just not yet made up your minds. We know from tracking our alumni that folks with degrees from our college do remarkably well in life, and they go on to great and varied careers. Please keep in touch with us. We want to see what you do next. We also want to know that we care about you and are here for you if you need advice or encouragement. And I'm serious about that. It's very important to us. Graduates, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge that we live in turbulent times. There are many challenging issues for you to confront in your careers and lives. Among the most pressing concerns to society relate to interrelated topics such as environment, energy, and health. Often referred to as great challenges because of their importance and difficulty, these topics will be concerns to you for the rest of your lives. Please always remember to think critically about these challenges. Don't buy the slogans and one-liners coming from politicians, partisans, and the media. Gather all the facts you can and come to your own conclusions. Some of you know I teach a course on energy and environment, and we tell students in the first lecture that while we do have serious concerns about greenhouse gases and climate change, there are no easy fixes despite what they hear from cable news, social media, and politicians. Transitioning from fossil fuels to renewables will be difficult at best, and it cannot be done overnight and without careful planning. We must do so in a way that does not jeopardize our food supply, healthcare, disaster preparedness, transportation system, economic security, military, and so many other things that are still very dependent on liquid fuels derived from oil and gas. I heard a well-respected economist declare recently that we are transitioning from fossil fuels, but he is not certain to what. That thought is chilling to me. We must plan better. Now, as I said, I teach a whole course that deals with this topic, and I could go on for hours, but I hate long commencement speakers just as you do. So I will move along quickly. So let's get on with the real reason we're here, which is the presentation of diplomas and hoods. Graduates and all the people who helped you achieve the accomplishments we celebrate today, really hearty congratulations from me, from all of us. I'm now going to turn the rest of the ceremony over to Associate Dean Sybil Bargu-Atesh. My apologies, but I have to leave right now to catch a plane. Unfortunately, that timing was such that I couldn't change it. Unfortunately, it's a schedule-related problem that we don't usually have this late a graduation in the day. So at this point, I will turn this proceedings over to Dr. Bargu, and you are in capable hands. Again, congratulations. This is a wonderful achievement. Sibel.
Good afternoon. I'm Associate Dean Sibel Bargu, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our diploma ceremony. Before we get started, I wish to introduce just a few of the individuals here today. Professor Robert Rowley, a member of the LSU Graduate Council, will serve as Master of Ceremonies. Professor Kevin Ambrose, Chair of the Department of Environmental Sciences, will present diplomas to the graduates of his department and will make some brief remarks. Professor Tracy Quirk will represent the Department of Oceanography and Coastal Sciences and will present diplomas to the graduates of the department and make some brief remarks. Professor Vincent Wilson, Director of the Coastal Environmental Science Program, will present diplomas to graduates of his program and will also make some brief remarks. I would also like to recognize Associate Dean John White, Professor in the Department of Oceanography and Coastal Sciences. Many of our faculty are currently at the American Geophysical Union Conference and therefore aren't able to join us today. But for the few who can be here today, please stand up and be recognized. Our faculty. Thank you. Please be seated. We are here today to not only present the diplomas, but also to celebrate the success of our graduates. As we begin today's ceremony, let me start by acknowledging some of the people that have helped along our students' journey to success. To the family members and friends who have supported our graduates throughout their journey, what a difference you have made to our students. Please stand up to be recognized. All the family and friends, please stand up. Thank you for walking alongside them on the path to these major accomplishments. You may be seated. To our students and soon-to-be alumni, let me say that completion of a degree program is a major life accomplishment. I speak for all of our faculty and staff when I say how very proud we are of you. You have earned your degree through hard work, applying fierce determination, and multidisciplinary tools to develop solutions to pressing coastal and environmental issues. You persevered through challenging times. You have earned your degrees, and we are proud to call you LSU alumni. Congratulations. Now let's proceed with the presenting diplomas to our graduates. I would like to remind you that the grad team will be here for pictures during and after this ceremony, so don't run off. And I ask Dr. Rowley to come forward to present our candidates for graduate degrees.
Would the candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy please stand? Dr. Bargu, in recognition of the completion of all requirements for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, I am pleased to present these candidates to you. Candidates, please be seated. Would the candidates for the degree of Master of Science please stand. Dr. Bargu, in recognition of the completion of all requirements for the degree of Master of Science, I am pleased to present these candidates to you. Candidates, please be seated. Would the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science please stand? Dr. Bargu, in recognition of the completion of all the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Science, I am pleased to present these candidates to you. Candidates, please be seated.
You have been certified as having completed all requirements for your degree. The Louisiana State University Board of Supervisors has authorized the conferral of the appropriate degree with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining. At this time, tradition dictates that you move your tassel from the right side of your mortarboard to the left to signify your status as a graduate of Louisiana State University. Congratulations.
Seven of our graduates in the College of the Coast and Environment are unable to be with us here today. Nevertheless, I would like to recognize them now. Aaron Mixon, receiving a Bachelor of Science in Coastal Environmental Science. Sharon Silano, receiving a graduate certificate in Environmental and Energy Policy in Environmental Sciences. Cole Donaldson, receiving a graduate certificate in Environmental and Energy Policy in Environmental Sciences. Emily Shallow, receiving a Master of Science in Oceanography and Coastal Sciences. Major Professor, Dr. Cassandra Glaspie. Thesis title, Ontogeny and Resource Use of Invasive Lionfish, Pterios volitans, in shallow water habitats surrounding Summerland Key. Zoe Shribman, receiving a Master of Science in Oceanography and Coastal Sciences. Major Professor, Dr. Robert Twilley. Thesis title, Blue Carbon in South Florida's Mangrove, the Role of Large Roots and Necromass. Jordan Tafelsky, receiving a Master of Science in Environmental Sciences and a graduate certificate in Environmental and Energy Policy. Major Professor, Dr. Brian Snyder. Thesis title, The Need for Sustainable Management Practices for Inland Fisheries in the United States, a literature review. Xiaochen Xiao, receiving a Doctor of Philosophy in Oceanography and Coastal Sciences. Major Professor, Dr. Victor Rivera Monroy. Dissertation title, Assessing Mangrove Wetland Structure and Function Regulated by Environmental Gradients Under Climate Change and Increasing Human Impacts, a Modeling Approach. Please join me in congratulating these students. We will continue with the presentation of diplomas to the graduates receiving a Bachelor of Science degree in Coastal Environmental Science. I would like to ask Dr. Bargu and Coastal Environmental Sciences Director, Dr. Vincent Wilson, to come forward. Dr. Wilson will present you with your diploma, and Dr. Bargu will present you with a gift from the College of the Coast and Environment. As I call your name, please come forward. Kelly Marie Downey. Please join me in congratulating Kelly Downey. Margaret Amelia Knight. Margaret is graduating summa cum laude. Please join me in congratulating Margaret Knight. Rachel Catherine Mixon. Please join me in congratulating Rachel Mixon. Kelvin Orlando Moreno Aguilar. Please join me in congratulating Kelvin Aguilar. Sophia Evangeline Nelson. Please join me in congratulating Sophia Nelson. Kayla Elise Thomas. Please join me in congratulating Kayla Thomas. Next, Dr. Wilson would like to say a few words regarding the graduates.
As usual, they said a few words. Brief. They're still hounding me. All right, well, I'll keep it reasonable. I do like to have a comment or two just about the program, just to start out, because I don't know if everybody's aware of the Coastal Environmental Sciences Bachelor's Degree Program, but we're in our 14th year. It started in the fall of 2008 with a whole enormous number of 5 majors. We're now up to 190. And we'd actually be growing a lot faster, but for some reason, we let them out after 4 years, including the 7 distinguished alumni today. Of course, that is after 4 years of academic torture. You know, we try our best. This is not an easy degree. It's a rather rigorous curriculum that provides students with a very solid platform of the sciences and math, which gives them a basis for an enormous number of, a widespread of career options, as well as a very solid base for their future successes. And that's one of the things that I actually could spend quite a bit of time bragging about, the successes of our alumni, but I think this group over here would drag me off. Just to note, though, in terms of the success of these alumni today, I want to note that the average GPA for our 7 was 3.33. That's high for a general group of graduates. Of course, one of those, I have to comment, I keep trying to figure out who gave her the A instead of the A+, was Maggie Knight, because she's up around above a 4.1. You know, stratosphere, I think. I'm not sure how. Well, to our alumni, there is one additional responsibility that comes with the graduation here. You have to stay in touch. You have to let us know where you are and what's happening and where your career's going. Remember that you're still part of the family. You're not going to escape that easily. Of course, there'll probably be a request for money very shortly as well. Anyway, with that, I just like to congratulate you again, and everybody, let's give them a big hand for these 7.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson. We now continue with the presentation of the diplomas to the graduates receiving a Master of Science in the Department of Oceanography and Coastal Sciences. I would like to ask Dr. Tracy Quirk to come up, and she will present you with your diplomas, and Dr. Bargu will present you with a special gift from the College of the Coast and Environment. As I called your name, please come forward. Callie Leanne Snow, Major Professor, Dr. Sibel Bargu and Dr. John White. Thesis title, Effects of Freshwater Input on Nutrient Loading, Toxic Cyanobacteria Bloom Development, and Cyanotoxin Production in the Lake Pontchartrain Estuary, Louisiana. Please congratulate me, and please join me in congratulating Callie Snow. We will continue with the presentation of the diplomas for the graduates receiving a Master of Science in the Department of Environmental Sciences. I would like to ask Department Chair Dr. Kevin Armbrust to come up. He will present you with your diplomas, and Dr. Bargu will present you with a special gift from the College of the Coast and Environment. As I call your name, please come forward. Megan Mariah Cobb. Megan is also receiving her graduate certificate in Environmental and Energy Policy. Her major professor is Dr. Brian Snyder, and her thesis title is Marine Debris, Microplastics, and PBDES, Toxicological Impacts of PBDES in Marine Ecosystems. Please join me in congratulating Megan Cobb. Yamini Kodavadiganti. Major Professor is Dr. Margaret Reams. Thesis title, Impact of Socioeconomic and Hazard Characteristics on Residential Hurricane Damage. Please join me in congratulating Yamini Kodavadiganti. Lindsay Lamanna. Major Professor is Dr. Thomas Douthit. Thesis title, Developing a Watershed-Based Plan Evacuation Framework for Socioecological Network Analysis in the Upper Pontchartrain Basin. Please join me in congratulating Lindsay Lamanna. Elena Renee Lee. Her major professor is Dr. Brian Snyder, and thesis title is Impacts of Invasive Lionfish, Pterois volitans on the Gulf of Mexico, Western Atlantic, and Caribbean Sea. Please join me in congratulating Elena Lee. Ariel Bree Poirier. Ariel is also receiving a graduate certificate in environmental and energy policy. Her major professor is Dr. Brian Snyder, and her thesis title is What Factors Are Driving the Western Population Decline for the Monarch Butterfly, Danaus plexippus. Please join me in congratulating Ariel Poirier. And now for the PhD graduates in the Department of Oceanography and Coastal Sciences and the Department of Environmental Sciences. In a doctoral student's studies, the role of mentors is particularly strong. The student's major professor, assisted by other members of the faculty, closely guides the student's research and writing. The doctoral hood is a symbol of the student's accomplishment and full membership in the fellowship of academia. The doctoral students who cross the stage today are accompanied by his or her mentor, usually his or her major professor. This person will assist in hooding his or her student with the doctoral hood. We will start with the Department of Oceanography and Coastal Sciences. As I call your name, please come forward to be hooded. Dr. Quirk will present you with your diploma, and Dr. Bargu will present you with a gift from the College of the Coast and Environment. As I call your name, please come forward to be hooded. Yadav Sapkata, Major Professor, Dr. John White, dissertation title, Soil Organic Matter Accretion, Complexity, and Degradation in Eroding Coastal Wetlands. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Yadav Sapkata. In the Department of Environmental Sciences, Dr. Armbrust will present you with your diploma, and Dr. Bargu will present you with a gift from the College of the Coast and Environment. As I call your name, please come forward to be hooded. Grace Ann Cagle, Major Professor, Dr. Aishin Ho, dissertation title, Responses of Wetland Soil Microbial Communities under Different Anthropogenic Disturbance Regimes. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Grace Cagle. Now, Dr. Kevin Armbrust would like to say a few words regarding the graduates from the Department of Environmental Sciences.
Thanks, Bob. It's been a couple of years since we've actually been up here and had the opportunity to present and do all of this in person with y'all. So normally we're pretty well seasoned at this and well oiled and come across it, so we're all a little rusty on some of this. First thing I would like to just add, though, regarding the PhD graduates that we have, the hood and the PhD degree actually do represent the pinnacle of someone's academic career for career. They really do, and it's really significant. In particular with this, because of within the PhD program, and even master's and undergraduate students for that matter, the relationship between the student and the faculty really is a student-mentor relationship. PhDs, and this is something we always emphasize to the students, when they graduate, why this PhD degree is particularly significant is when they finish, we are no longer student-mentor, we are now colleagues. And that's why we really address each other as colleagues. And that's why that particular degree does have particular significance. As far as the graduates within the Department of Environmental Sciences, I'm going to first of all start with Yamini Cobb of Gatanati. Her interest in environmental science stems from the overlap of environmental policymaking and real-world contingencies in the construction processes. Ultimately, she aims to work in the construction industry where she hopes to bring her research skills to improving environmental outcomes for more resilient projects. Ariel Poirier is currently working with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in the Baltimore, Maryland area. She actually decided to continue her education within our online MS degree. She chose this particular degree because of its flexibility that it offered and its challenging curricula while still allowing her to work full-time. After graduation, she plans to continue her career in upward mobility, and one day you just might see Ariel as the director of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Alana Lee always wanted to attend LSU, and the LSU online program actually made this program possible. And the online MS degree gave her the flexibility to be able to do this. After graduation, she plans to find a job helping make the oceans a healthier environment for the future. Lindsay Lamanna attended the Environmental Sciences MS program here at LSU to further her knowledge of environmental issues and policy. While attending LSU, she interned at the Capital Region Planning Commission, conducting research and support for the Louisiana Watershed Initiative. Currently, Lindsay is employed as an environmental project specialist for waste management at ExxonMobil here in Baton Rouge. Megan Cobb began a career as a national park ranger at the Biscayne National Park in southern Florida, where she became a major player in advocating against the effects of global marine debris. We actually work quite a bit with NOAA, and this is a very, very big program with NOAA. With the completion of her master's degree in environmental science, she plans to continue her work with the National Park Service and her partnership with NOAA in Hawaii next year, developing more robust resource management tools to ensure the preservation of marine and beach habitat for future generations, like her daughters to enjoy. Grace Cagle, our PhD graduate, was born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas. While at LSU, she spent her time studying microbial communities and wetland soils. And while at LSU, she spent 2 months in China studying how climate change affects greenhouse gas-producing microbes in its northern peatlands. After graduation, she plans to start a postdoctoral research position, and her dream is to one day become a professor. Thank you all for trusting you with our education. We wish you the best and hopefully more into the future. Thank you.
Now, Dr. Tracy Quirk would like to say a few words regarding the graduates from the Department of Oceanography and Coastal Sciences.
Thank you. On behalf of the Department of Oceanography and Coastal Sciences, I would like to congratulate the graduates of 2021 and welcome their family and friends to celebrate this momentous occasion. Graduate students from our department advance the fields of coastal and oceanographic sciences and will go on to improve our society and our world, I am sure. Today, we congratulate 5 exceptional graduates, 2 PhDs, and 3 masters. Yadav Sapkota is receiving his PhD today. His dissertation research under the advisement of Dr. John White was focused on soil organic matter degradation dynamics in eroding coastal wetlands. He is now a research scientist at the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Zhaoshen Zhao is receiving her PhD today. Her dissertation, under the direction of Dr. Victor Rivera Monroy, focused on investigating mangrove wetland structure and ecological dynamics in the context of climate controls and human impacts. She will start her postdoctoral work in our department under Dr. George Su, focusing on the development of coastal hydrological models. Emily Shallow is receiving her Master's of Science today under the supervision of Dr. Cassie Gillespie. Her thesis research was focused on the ecology of lionfish in the Florida Keys, and she is looking forward to starting her professional career with a passion in marine conservation. Zoe Shribman is receiving her master's degree today. Her research was under the advisement of Dr. Robert Twilley, focused on mangrove root biomass in the Florida Everglades. Zoe is currently pursuing a PhD program in the National University of Singapore to continue her work on mangroves. And finally, last but not least, Callie Snow is receiving her Master's of Science degree today under the direction of Dr. Bargu and Dr. John White. Her thesis deals with the environmental impacts of the opening of the Bonacary spillway in 2019 and water quality and phytoplankton populations in Lake Pontchartrain. It's worth noting that Callie was able to complete her master's degree in 1.5 years. It's sort of a record time, so congratulations, Callie. Yes, and congratulations to all of our graduates. Thank you. Dr. Barger.
This concludes today's ceremony. Graduates, you are now LSU alumni, and I hope that you keep a lifelong connection with this great university and our college. On behalf of the entire faculty and staff of our college, let me repeat how proud we are of you and your achievements. We wish you every success in the future. Congratulations, and thank you all for coming.